In this video, we are going to talk about lights and cameras. Okay, searching for a nice kind of different ways of present the character. I have been doing some tests with different poses, illumination, and all that kind of thing. Okay, and I'm going to show you with these tests. Okay, so I have to go here and put the cinematic camera. Let me see if everything is working like this. Yeah. So I have crazy things like this one, but I have more simple presentation like this one. I have other completely crazy like this one. I have someone like this one trying to replicate the light here. I have this one with super different light setup. This is the same one like the other. Okay. And another one. So what I want to do here, okay, with you and explain you a little bit how is my way of do this. Let's go on create a new uh, level, okay, that is empty, which is the interesting part. And what we are going to do uh, is place our character. I have here a but you will have an FBX, okay, and I'm going to put the pose that we did in the sorry that we did in use animation asset, the one that we used in the post video on zebras, okay. And now uh, I'm going to start to like this, okay. So first thing to understand of this, uh, I'm not searching in this video this kind of 3-point light presentation, because I think that there's enough information to create something uh, simple and efficient to to show your character, because you are showing your character, okay. You are not showing an environment or something like that. We are focusing in the character, and the important part is the character, okay. So but saying that, I love to put the character in kind of some, let's say, situations, environments, okay, or something like that, because I like to 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 present the character like in a moment, aside of the basic presentation, or not basic presentation, like uh, for example, if I'm not wrong, this is the one that I want to have for present the character, you know this illumination. Maybe right now is a little bit extreme in terms of his, uh, okay, is this one probably, or not? No, it's this one, because maybe it's uh, too intense the light, but I want to have something like this for present the character, okay, because I know it's not the typical T-pose or nothing like that, but we can see a few things of the character going on, and it's also, we can see more of the things. And if I want to see different angle, I just have to move it. Of course, change the camera, because maybe do not override. Okay, and I can have here all the points of view of the character, with the same illumination, but in not the typical pose of the character. And I also have, super cool views of the character, etc. With this camera, okay, but I can duplicate the camera, uh, put this camera, and with the same illumination, try to find like the full view of the character, maybe. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So need to turn down this one. It's because of the environment, but let me put this down a little bit. Okay. And go to the cinematic camera actor and present the full character, with the same illumination and the same kind of camera. And maybe I have to go here, add a little bit more of a space, and we have this kind of presentation that is working also with the character. Okay, this one is going to be my presentation of the character, like a basic presentation, but I also want to include some shots, like in action or in a situation. Okay, because that's also help to sell the idea of the character and how to, and thinking about this, about a portfolio piece, and you want to, to find some work with this, um recruiters, people that want you to work as freelance or whatever, are going to see that you manage to make it work in different environments or different situations, um, different lights, and that's, and also you are showing that your character can move in some kind of way. I know it's not a rig or something like that, but it's deforming, but it's working, so, because it's not your job, if you're working as character artist, it's not your job to make it move, but it's your job to have everything workable for the people that comes, behind you. So I think that's what I always do with the presentation of my characters, the personal characters normally. uh, and it worked for me, so should work for you. Okay, because right now we are more into what Antonio likes to do with a character, instead of uh, what you should do with a character. Okay, so this is my way of doing things, but, and you maybe like it, but this is not maths. You can search your way of do this. Okay. Okay, so going back to our learn to test. Okay, I want to explain you how I approach this. So what I normally do is find a reference, a concept, another character art, or a picture or something like that, and I try to replicate the light. So for this one, I'm going to use this one. Okay, is from the amazing Ash Thorpe. Okay, and Friendly Robot, and I want to, because I like a lot how the light is in there's, affecting the character just in one side, but we also see information here, and I'm not going to put the red guys, of course, but I'm going to try to put some kind of environment here to make it work. And also the fog, this fog that is not volumetric, I'm going to be using the easy fog from the amazing William Faucher that you can find on YouTube. Basically, I learned about illumination and post processing from Unreal from him, and you are going to love it. Okay, but I'm going to use all these tools I'm going to show you right now. But this is how I normally approach the lighting. I take a picture and I try to figure it out how it's done, and I try to replicate on my character. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, now in the scene, I'm going to start adding the easy fog that I mentioned in the previous video. I'm going just, to put it in more or less in place and then start to add my camera, my post process volume, my exponential height fog, okay, and tweak there and there to get some nice volumes, okay. And something that I want to mention is regarding the post process volume is something that I'm adding right here because I want to give you the everything perspective, but it's something that can be also done just with the camera actor, okay. But I want to show you later a bit of the post process volume, and that's what I'm including here. But you can use it just with the camera. So regarding the camera, normally I move between 35 and 80 millimeters because I'm normally into that with zebras and all that kind of thing. Okay. And I think is the best part to the best way to for present the character. So as you can see right now, I'm placing Megascan assets, just to generate some kind of ground background and all these in front parts that we saw in the picture, and how these ones are going to be affecting the lighting and shadow. Okay, it's not that much on the shadows because I'm not doing anything in front to generate a shadow, uh but yet to the indirect light is going to be affecting and interacting with the reflection over the character. Okay. So right now, uh taking a look at the picture, I think is some kind of soft light coming from the top, and you can see that I'm putting not that much light. I'm using more the volumetric fog to help me to illuminate the scene. And now I'm just putting a simple red light to get that focal point of the image of the character. Okay. And of course I'm taking some freedom over the over the image, because it's not that character, and I don't have those red characters around, so I have to try to be, creative in some kind of way. Okay. So now that I'm using the exponential fog to generate like a soft light, and now I'm duplicating and using the file of soft the easy fog to create some kind of blend between the fog and the character and the background. Okay. But of course trying to make the character the principal of the scene, because I told you, we are presenting a character, we are not presenting an environment or nothing similar. So I'm going to blur everything and just put the focus on the character. Okay. And now you can see that I'm using the typical yellow and blue lights, nothing special, because I think in the picture there's some uh, yellows. Okay. But it's just a little touch to make it work. And now I'm duplicating the camera to see if some different perspective is going to uh, work a little bit better. Okay, so now also making the aperture of the camera work to exaggerate things a little bit, and now make it the same with the right camera. So here I decided to go with the right camera because I think it's more, predominant for the character. And here is where I'm, trying to generate some kind of information behind, but again, to make it blurry, just to put the character in some place. Okay. Now I always, not always, but normally I add some kind of plane behind to have the control of the end of the color of the scene, just a little bit more, don't complicating everything, and then again, duplicating the easy fog to have some kind of all the time blurring the scene to just focus on the character and have something more or less cool to play with it later with the post processing and with the final thing. And now here I'm adding a little bit of rim light. Okay, just to have the all the silhouette of the character uh, added to the image. And now it's time to go with the post processing. Okay, now with the post process volume, we have a crazy amount of things to work with. Okay, we are going to just move a little bit here. The depth of field is controlled by the camera, but we can start to add things like the like bloom, for example, to all these emissives to have a little bit of extra. I have here the exposure to add a little bit of, for example, 1.1. Okay, so there are a few things that are controlled by the camera, as I told you. But we have here a lot of things to work with. I prefer to do this always on Photoshop, but I think this is also a cool way to to understand all of this. Okay. Shadow contrast scale. Detail strength. So you can see a little bit of what everything is doing here. But what I want to have is a little bit of less contrast overall. Uh, we have the lens flare. That is adding a bit of this here. Something that I also prefer to do it on Photoshop. Okay, we have a lot of things here. For example, the depth of field. This one, it should be controlled by the camera also. Then the color grading, we have the temp here, the temperature, so we can move it a little bit and tint it more a little bit. Okay. For example, we have the shadows here. We can saturate the shadows a bit. In case we want something more crazy. We can contrast everything also. But I prefer to go in this way. We have all the midtones to exaggerate. We have here more control over the field. We have also the global illumination here. This one I never use it, but probably it's going to affect a little bit of the lights or something like that, or not. This is the amazing thing of Unreal for us, just simple mortals. And for example, we have the field grain. That is something cool to add to the final image. Okay. If you want, but I'm going to do it on Photoshop that I'm going to show you. Okay. And for example, to see how this is working, we can go and right here, enable, and we have the process volume here, and we can see what it's doing, a little bit. I hope you notice this properly in the video. And now, I think I know that it's not that much, but these typical things that it's a matter of play with it and try to find what works better for you. Okay. But you saw that there's a lot of things going on here, and you can be here 4 hours working on this. Okay, so take your time, test things, find something that works cool for you, or let's go to render and see later on Photoshop. Okay, now that we have all of this set up, what we have to do is here, add a level sequence. Okay, and we create a learn to test sequence. Okay, and we save it. And what we have to do here is drag and drop our camera. Okay, yes, we put it here. Okay, and we have a default timing. Okay, one of 150, but we want just an image. So what we're going to do is take it out to 1. Okay, and now before we go into rendering, we have to go to plugins. Okay, and we have to write a movie. Sorry, the movie render queue. A movie render queue additional render passes. Okay, so if you don't have these ones activated, you have to activate that, and maybe that is going to make you restart Unreal. Okay. Now that we have this here, we have to go to Windows, Cinematics, and Movie Render Queue. Okay, so now here, what we are going to do is add the render, and we are going. Oh, sorry, we have to save the render queue. Okay, the sequencer, and now we have, if save it, is going to appear as here. Okay, level 2 test sequencer. We have these ones are all the others that I created. Okay, so here. Okay, now it's going to appear you as this. Okay, but there are a few things that we can do here to increase the quality. So one of the things that I'm going to do is go to render, and I'm going to just, I will put it in 40, okay, to make it like super big. And the fair rendering, render my, like, like what it is here. Okay, I'm going to click on render local. Okay, so this is going to render our image. Okay, oh, it's true, the first time it takes time because it's doing the magic of the software. No, it's going to be fast. And now we have this image. Okay, that have a super cool detail, etc., etc., etc. Okay, but we can make it this better. Okay, so let me prepare this for you. So what is here? I added a PNG and an EXR to have more quality. Okay, then I added an anti-aliasing, and we have to click on override, not override, but we are going to add sample passes, okay, to the render. That is going to look way, way, way better. Okay, here is one of the important things of this is in the console variables we have to add 4 elements that are going to, all of these are going to include you in the PDF. Okay, again, all of this is for information that I found in the internet, and also for the videos from William Faucher. Okay, so you can find it, and is an expert in this, and is going to help you a lot to get to the same point. Okay, then I added the ODS ID to have the IDs of the character in case I want to add something later on Photoshop. Then this is the fair rendering. The lead is going to give you some kind of color pass, and the fair rendering, that is the normal one. So okay, so once we are here, we go again on output, and I'm going to put the same 4K to 4K. Okay, and I'm going to accept, and I'm going to hit on render local. Okay, now it's going to take a little bit more because it's going to do the anti-aliasing. Okay, so it's going to do render passes over it. Okay, and it's done. Okay, so now I can show you, maybe I can show you properly the difference between both them here in the screen. Okay, this is the first one, and this is the second one. Okay, so maybe there's not that much because we don't have that crazy thing, but you can see how the blur here is better. All these pointing things here, going on, that we don't have it that much here. You can put it more render passes for this, but the quality, I think, is, at the first look, is pretty noticeable. Look this and look this. It's pretty noticeable. Okay, So I'm going to provide you with this, okay? And also, what I wanted to show you, he give us this color pass that we can use to select some materials, etc. later, and maybe add some extra lighting, okay? And let's move into Photoshop and add a little bit of just a couple of things. Okay, here in Photoshop, I'm going to add just a couple of things more. Okay, so I'm going to to delete all this information that maybe we don't want, because it's looking right now like a presentation card or something like that. Okay, and what we are going to do is, in case you didn't find a proper post process thing inside Unreal, or you are not confident with that, we can use this. In English, is called color lookup. Okay, and we can select here a different 3D lot to our character that maybe help us a bit to sell the thing, a bit. I'm going to use it here. Okay, so you see all the full process. Maybe I'm going to go with some kind of bluish. Okay, so maybe this one, maybe this one. It's not doing that much, but it's working for me. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to combine. I'm going to camera raw filter. Okay, and now we are going to hitting in auto right now to see what it's doing. I don't like that much what it's doing. So, for example, here, what we can do is push the shadows a little bit, you know. We can contrast everything a little bit. Okay. You know. We can we here can also change all the temperature of the character, in case you want it. You have here multiple effects like texture and all that kind of thing, but I'm going to do it out of this. We have here the levels, always important to don't have pure. No, I'm going to do it out of this. I think it's going to be better. So you have here a lot of things also to work, but it's a little bit of don't have the shadows that dark, and maybe tinted a little bit if you want. Okay, so I'm going just to click here and we can see the difference. Okay, and what's more, okay, so I'm going to add levels, and I'm going to sorry, not levels. Oh my god, curves. Okay, and I don't want to have pure whites, and I don't want to have pure blacks. Okay, okay, now there's a few things that are going to be working better, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm doing like this, to see. So let me rename this for you. This is color lookup. This is the camera raw filter. Okay, so you can see all the process one by one. This is just copy. I'm sorry, but I can update the Photoshop to in English. I don't know why. Um, okay, what's more? I like really how this bloom is affecting this, so I not probably don't touch anything of that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is duplicate the final one. I'm going to blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, I'm going to do an extra. Okay, now I'm going to erase. Okay, just to put up things a little bit and don't have a lot of interesting thing around here. Okay, so I'm going to do something like this. Okay, boom, 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 boom. It's not that much, but it's just a part. And now what I'm going to do is duplicate it again. I'm going to put it here. Gaussian blur. Okay. I'm going to duplicate it. Something that we can I just added these that I found on internet, that maybe it can help a little bit, to sell the idea that Kif is an environment. So I'm going to delete a bit, and because I want to add some focus right now, just let me mix this one, just happening something like that. Okay, and now I'm going to focus. I think it's a smart focus. Okay, and I'm going to give a little bit. This is too much. Okay, let me check. Yeah, too much. We just want a little bit. Okay, nice. Okay, I like where this is going. Okay, and now we need to add. Sorry, I'm going to. This is a smart focus, and now we need to add noise and a little bit of chromatic aberration. So what we can do is go to lens correction, go here, and we can add, for example, here a little bit of vignetting, I think it's called, a little bit. And we can also add a little bit of chromatic aberration here. Just a little bit. Okay. Or the other thing that we can do is just add, go to the same thing, add vignetting because I think it looks cool. Okay, clicking OK. I'm going to duplicate it again, to have everything. And we're going to go on the green channel. And if we select the all the mass, and here with this one, we move this one a little bit. Yes, it should give us this, without without this, the thing that probably we don't like it. So, oh, the problem is that I do it with the other thing, so no problem. Let me. Okay, that's what I do, duplicating everything all the time. So no problem. I can go here. I can directly go to lens correction. Come on. Yes. Lens correction and do the same thing. Click here, select green, move it a little bit. Here on RGB again, and do the amount you want. I prefer not to go that crazy. Just a bit. Okay. And people do this adding the noise first, or adding the noise later. So I'm going to do both things here, okay? So I'm going to noise and add noise, and I'm going to add a little bit, something like this, okay? And I'm going to do it like here. Yeah, yes. Okay, filter, add noise. And now here I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add the chromatic aberration now. Depends a lot on what you want to have. I'm going to go with this one, and that's pretty much. You know, that's pretty much to present the chapter. You can go maybe and add something extra, like for example, I want to turn down this more. So I'm going to pick this color, and I'm going to. What is this? Sorry, here, and I'm going to add. Wow, magic with a new Photoshop, and I'm going to add just a little bit. Um, Now I'm going to. Hello. You know, just turn out that part a little bit, because why not? And I'm going to do the same here, but pure white. Hello, in pure white. Uh, so probably have to go here, maybe. Wow. So is basics. Yeah. Okay, let me do it something like this, but I don't like it like that. Yeah, something like that, and we go again to delete a bit. You know, these are things that you can implement or not implement. Maybe you are better than me doing this part of the process. So don't mind. But I think these things at the end are helping you to sell the chapter. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be our final render. Okay, and I did it pretty fast because I want to show you just a few options in case you are not used to do this. Okay, and I hope you find a place to build all of this and feel comfortable, and test things, try things until you find your place. This is just a way of do this. Okay.